Okay, here we go. Um, Welcome to New Realities on YouTube. This is an exciting program. This is an exciting program that I have with Kimberly Meredith, organized hybrid civilizations, extraterrestrials in the fifth dimension. Is a very special program. And stay tuned because we're going to go into deeper levels of consciousness awareness and what exactly is happening to human beings on this planet as we interface with these other beings. So I'm going to introduce Q, who's going to do some introductions as I introduce him, and then the star of our show, Kimberly Meredith. Thank you. Okay, Q, go ahead.
Welcome to the Hybrid Civilizations and Extraterrestrials in the Fifth Dimension class. We cannot separate the Earth from its greater cosmic environment. What's needed is a new story, and Alan Steinfeld's Making Contact is part of that story, says Deepak Chopra, best-selling author of Total Meditation. Alan Steinfeld is an explorer of consciousness. For over 30 years, he has hosted and produced weekly television series, New Realities, in New York City, with over 70,000 subscribers to his YouTube channel of the same name. There have been over 20 million viewers who've seen his programs, including the luminaries in the health, spirituality, and UFOs, such as Deepak Chopra, Marianne Williamson, Ram Dass, and every major UFO researcher in the world. With his media appearances, lectures, conferences, he informs millions about the human potential, remote viewing, and the nature of alien contact. For over 7 years, he has been an MC at the largest UFO event in the country, Contact in the Desert. He feels that only when the inner explorations of the soul are combined with the outer adventures of the mind can we achieve harmonious understanding of the outer place in the cosmos. Kimberly Meredith is a world-renowned medical medium and healer. With her remarkable abilities, Kimberly has helped thousands of people and animals to improve all manner of medical and emotional conditions by calling in the divine and Christ consciousness. Kimberly can also connect with those who have crossed over to bring messages to the living. Kimberly received her miraculous healing gifts from the Holy Spirit following 2 near-death experiences in which she was blessed with an incredible encounter with God. Through her healing mediumship and blinking eyes, Kimberly can see into the body faster and more accurately than the fastest MRI and thermography machines, accurately detecting all manner of medical conditions. She has the ability to emit healing scalar energies as measured by Dr. Norm Shealy during scientific testing to validate Kimberly's abilities. And she has also been tested by the SciTech Subtle Laboratory Energy Laboratory at the famous IONS Institute of Noetic Sciences, founded by Apollo astronaut Edgar Mitchell. Kimberly also hosts the #1 rated radio show, the Medical Intuitive Miracle Show, streaming on kcaradio.com and iHeartRadio. And she's a frequent guest on a number of syndicated radio shows and podcasts. She also has a new book available now, Awakening the Fifth Dimension. This book is profound, with compelling information on how to catapult oneself in the fifth dimension of healing for both mind, body. Inspiring and uplifting, you'll learn how to tap into your full potential. A must read, says Anita Morajani. So you can get her book available today at thehealingtrilogy.com as well as on amazon.com. Awakening to the Fifth Dimension. You're serving the soul's path to healing. And please welcome Alan Steinfeld and Kimberly Meredith.
Wow. Thank you, Q. Thank you for that great introduction. Welcome, everybody. Hey, Kimberly, good to see you. I just want to go kind of give a little background about why we decided to do this. I have a new book too called Making Contact, and Kimberly's new book is coming out, Awakening to the Fifth Dimension. And there's a real meeting place for both of these books because it's both about evolving our awareness of this greater reality. Right, Kimberly? How would you see that?
Absolutely. I believe that the energy of the extraterrestrials, the hybrids, the phenomenon of the energy of learning how to do telepathy, raising our vibrations, our intuitive abilities, are only getting stronger, and the emergence of all of us being here right now and going into the energy of the fifth dimension is what I'm always talking about, is happening and occurring right now. And to think that this is not happening would just be really sad and ignorant. And that we know right now, I think everyone here right now knows this is happening. And it's just such a really great time to be able not only to have our friendship, but know that this is just was supposed to happen and is happening, and that both of our books are happening at the same time simultaneously and meant to happen. And not only that the pandemic is happening at the same time, which is also in coherence with this full-blown awakening.
Right. And we think it's important to talk about this, and not just talk about it, but for everyone watching to get into the frequency. The fifth dimension, as Kimberly describes in her book, is about a vibration. It's about a way of thinking and feeling. So you're not in fear. You're not in your mind a lot. You're just vibrating at this new energy. This is a new energy that we're coming into. And it's much easier to be making contact when you're in this fifth dimensional awareness. That's where the two books really kind of meet. And that's what we really want to go into today, how to raise the frequency, how to vibrate at that level where when you meet these beings, these hybrids or these ETs, you're not freaked out because you're the same wavelength, right, Kimberly?
Right. So often people will think, oh my God, what is a hybrid? Was I abducted? Was I born a hybrid? You know, hybrid is a human and an abducted, you know, has a different DNA, you know, and is that something that can survive in this society? Is it something that has a superhuman power? Is it something that is special gifts? You know, is this something that I am doing? Is it something I can tap into? All of these different questions go on in people's minds. And is it something that is going to accumulate and become faster in society as we move into the fifth and 12th dimensional frequencies? I do talk about it in my book, and you talk about it in your book.
Right. I mean, these fifth dimensional frequencies are with us now. I think that's what the last 2 years have really been about. Getting out of an old way of thinking that we called normal and starting to use these higher aspects of the mind. Why don't we just do like a brief meditation, Kimberly, to kind of get people into that state? So you can lead it and I'll jump in and we can go back and forth, but go ahead. You're a great meditation leader. So we'll do that just so we can let the world that we just came from kind of let it go and have everyone vibrate at this frequency, because we're all here to support each other. It's not about me and Kimberly or anyone here. It's about all of us. This is a new way of thinking about what I call the synergy of awareness. We are all becoming part of a greater mind, which we have been a part of anyway. We've just thought we were separate. That's the illusion. So the fifth dimension is really bringing this greater consciousness into the local awareness. So, okay, I could play a little music maybe or something.
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's always great to start every class off with a prayer.
Yes.
I think that we could either do a prayer on star seeds, a starseed prayer, or we could do a multidimensional healing prayer.
Yeah, let's do the multidimensional healing prayer because I think that's where we want to go anyway, right?
Okay, cool. And
All
that's
right.
coming from my book. I'll do that. Okay, so let's do this beautiful intentional multidimensional healing. We are I'll wait for the music.
Oh, okay. I'm looking for some good music here. Okay. Okay, let me just
Thanks
okay.
everybody being here with us.
Yeah, okay. Let me just here we go. Let me see if you hear this. Do you hear that?
Yes, beautiful.
This is Healing Waters by Alex McPhee.
So excited. You have so many fans that are here for you right now. Everybody is smiling and so excited to see you. I see Cat Divine just glowing.
Thank you.
You have so many people that love you, Alan.
And they love all of us. Thank you. Oh, wait. I didn't want to play this with music. Sorry. I mean, with voices.
Sounds like Frank Sinatra.
No. I have a one that, yes. No, that we don't need that one. Here, let me try this one.
Sounds like Frank Sinatra.
Okay, here we go. This is more cosmic. Okay, go ahead. This is some cosmic sounds.
Okay, yeah, that would be better for me. Okay. So let's take a deep breath through our nose, inhale through our nose and hold on for 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale. We are multidimensional beings. We live in a multidimensional world with many multidimensional beings. Love is multidimensional. I view love from every angle. I choose to have the highest God awareness. I choose to not suffer. I choose to be healed. I am a beautiful multidimensional being. My soul loves living in a multidimensional world, free from dark energy. I am immortal. I am the divine. I'm connected to the divine Christ consciousness. I am healed. I am living in a multidimensional world with multidimensional beings. Love is the multidimensional way. I view love from every angle. I choose to have the highest God awareness. I don't suffer. I am healed. I am love. I am multidimensional. I choose to live in the dimension I choose to be in, which is the love, the soul, the living in this multidimensional world. I am immortal, infinite, divine, love. I am healed. Satnam.
So keep your eyes closed and put your attention at the top of your head. Come into that attention right there. Well, that's the doorway to these multidimensional realities. Feel that at the top of your head, and now we're just gonna extend that consciousness beyond our head to the ceiling. And we're all floating up here. Now out beyond the ceiling of that room to the sky. And now past the blue into the black, where those stars are twinkling. And we see a distant planet, a distant object around one of those stars, and we go towards that. As we come down through that atmosphere, we're greeted by loving beings that embrace us, that gives us gifts, hope, love. They send it in the form of energy into our bodies. We begin to radiate with the frequencies that we are picking up from these loving beings. And we absorb that at the highest frequency we can into our field, into our energetic body, as we lift up back through that atmosphere, back to our distant yellow sun, to that blue-green object of the earth that circles that beautiful sun. We descend through the atmosphere towards our bodies, towards our home, back through the ceiling, back through the top of our heads, and back into our forms with those healing energies, those fifth dimensional healings energies embodied in our vibratory field. We arrive back here with an increased energetic awareness of everything we are and everything we will learn and become today. Thank you.
Beautiful. That was just beautiful, Alan. I love that. Namaste.
But Kimberly, thank you for getting your friends here too. And let's talk a little bit about what it really means to be hybrids, because I have to say, I think we are hybrids. I mean, we just picked up these, and we have this power of imagination to travel. Something makes us different here than all the other creatures on the earth. I'm not saying better or worse. I'm just saying we are different. We are of a hybrid consciousness, all of us. And we're moving, as we move into the fifth dimension, those aspects that have been suppressed are now coming forward. It's taken so long just to contend with the animal body. You know, we're walking around in these animal bodies, but there's the higher hybrid awareness that's also part of us. What do you think?
I think that's true. I think certain hybrids have different capabilities. I've done some studies with hybrids. I think since I was really young, I kind of was doing some different things. And I've noticed some settings of it myself. I think that there's some hybrids that have more capabilities. There's different types of them. I don't know how much you study them. Some of them can wave their hands and do things. They have high capabilities of telepathy. They can read at a distance. They're also able to move humanity fast. They're going to also organize things in the future that they want to have happen for us. They're coming in at a fast rate right now.
What do you mean? What's happening? What do you feel? Who are these beings coming in?
You probably know a lot more about the hybrid civilizations than I do.
But I'm asking, what are you picking up? Who do you feel is coming? I'll give you my ideas, but I want to know.
Hybrid civilizations are sometimes, they're angels and humans. And some of them, the good hybrids, are highly advanced, and they are here to help humanity in the fifth dimension. And some of the hybrid civilizations, hybrids that are here to help humanity with global crisis, the global change. They're here. They do have telepathy that's very strong. They do. They have healing abilities. They have a lot of things that they can do and help humanity.
Yeah, no, they are helping us, and
very much so.
We're moving into this other field too of energetics. We're moving into this other realm. And
are you talking about food being made, different types of food being made? Or are you talking about other types of
I'm talking about vibrationally, our bodies are changing. Yes. I think that's also what these last 2 years have been about a shift in vibratory fields, of energetics, and we're getting used to a new vibration and a new way of being. So we're different people than we were, and the change is going to keep happening to us. And we're getting different thought forms, different conscious awareness, and we were going to talk about some of that like
Yeah.
who and who isn't a hybrid. Let's discuss that, and then maybe if other people want to add to the chat,
Yeah.
we can
I
do
mean,
that.
there's many things to talk. There's Homo sapiens. I'm sure you've talked about that. There's
Yeah.
implants. We could talk about a lot of these things today. There's implants.
Yeah.
There's why people think they have implants. Are the implants good? Are they not good for us? I feel some clients come to me and they say, "Oh, I have an implant." You know, sometimes we think there's an implant. Perhaps there's not really an implant happening. And sometimes I think, I don't know, because I know, Alan, you wrote this amazing book, and his book is a must read. This book is fabulous. And there's something in here I'm going to read to everybody.
I just want to say, I also edited this as a collection of essays by a lot of the people in the UFO field, and maybe I'll show some clips of some of those people. Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
And why I want to bring up the book is because I had an encounter with a few extraterrestrials, and I don't like to call them aliens because my eye goes, no, don't say aliens, say extraterrestrials, because that is more of what I feel they want to be called.
Right. So which part did you pick out of the book? Because then I'll show some videos, as well.
Yeah. And then I want to get into, I went into chapter 8, which was something moving. Henrietta Weeks is what I picked out.
She's a good friend. She's actually the only person in that book who's not an official ufologist, but she had experiences, and she's a big part of this book. Yes. So yes.
So that was something that I picked out. So
let's read that. Yeah.
We're only at 222 right now, which is one of my favorite numbers. So so at 222, we're going to start rocking on with a class.
Okay.
And I just want to read something that really grabbed me. It says, who visits me? White beings, white feathers, white shapes, lately scorpions. Life crawls, cease pulsates, a majestic, ceaseless, spiraling dance. Formations, information. What is burst over and over? The white beings come at night, sometimes in the day. Are they my friends? What do they receive and what do they take? They imbue me with stars. Before the scorpion, symbol of the ego, 2 nights ago, I killed one. That just really took me. And yeah.
You know why? Because that's the only chapter that's sort of poetic. It's not linear. And when you meet these beings, they sort of come out of time. There's not in the same time flow. So when you remember these experiences, you might remember something from 5 years old or 12 or 20, and they're all sort of connected. These non-linear experiences in the minds of lots of us create a kind of continuity, even though they may happen at different ages. So this is what that essay puts together. Yes.
Yes. And I want to say something else, because when I was a little girl, I had experiences with the extraterrestrials. She goes on to talk about Einstein, which I'm very connected with Einstein. So when you read my book, Awakening to the Fifth Dimension, I talk about Einstein. I also talk about how Einstein came to me when I had my awakening. She talks about how she has a something moving. This is how Einstein answered when she was asked the secret of life. Something moves, or rather, is a quote, nothing happens until something moves. When something vibrates, the electrons of the entire universe resonates with it. Everything is connected. And when I started receiving my mediumship abilities, Einstein came to me also.
Well, I just want to say one thing about Einstein is that he was a hybrid. I mean, he brought a whole new understanding to science. I mean, he changed the way we look at reality. We're still catching up to Einstein. We don't really, he was so far advanced and such a hybrid mind. I mean, of course he was human, but he had this, like Tesla, like a lot of the great beings. So Einstein, I'll get back to Einstein as a hybrid. What were you going to say there?
So what I'm saying is sometimes people don't understand me sometimes when I'm doing my mediumship things too. And so that's why I really connect to this chapter. This is something everyone in this room should buy this book, every single person.
Thank you.
Because this chapter is so amazing. I really connect to this because of the Einstein. And also, I feel that not just because of me being a trancer, when I'm doing my healing on people often, it says Mother and Jesus and Holy Spirit. But I want people to understand, when you go back to my book, people are going to be like, what? There is a chapter in my book where I do say,
what?
And we don't know how this is all going to work out because my book's not out yet.
But order it anyway, because it really is.
It says right here,
a doorway in.
I hope that you fully embrace the idea that spirituality can be an invaluable part of your life. God can be a part of your life. Our world does not have to be loud, angry. It can be peaceful, loving, and calm. My guides are here to help you intellectually, yet deeply compassionate for you and humanity. We have arrived. This is me channeling. I channeled the book.
Good.
We are here.
Who we?
Just listen to what they say.
Okay.
We are the higher civilizations. So we is the ETs in the book.
And
so,
a lot of this comes from the ETs.
Yeah. So I am channeling the ETs when I do my work. So part of it is, and they're saying we are telling the people to spread joy. We're telling this is an exciting time. We are saying this is the highest state, starting in the fifth dimension, the healing in the fifth dimension. So anyway, we're starting this class out by saying, yes, Alan and I are here to help you today. And this is super cool.
But, I think it's so important that we qualify reality in those new terms, because it's not what it was 10 years ago. This density is loosening up. It's becoming more fluid, more, in a way, transparent. The dualities are seen. They're more apparent. And so everything's rising to the surface. So
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, your book, who is the man that wrote, I was reading a little bit about him, and I thought, like, then when I was reading your book, the guy Jack,
I don't know.
what is his name?
Well, you think about it. I'm going to get to a part where I talked to Daryl Anka. You know Daryl?
Oh, yeah, I love Daryl.
Daryl is the closest thing to like a hybrid. He's been communicating with the being Bashar.
Yeah, I love him. Yeah, he was the first one I met.
Yeah, so he is bringing through the hybrid consciousness, because Bashar, the channel, is of a hybrid nature. He's half human, half, I guess, gray, the Zeta Reticuli. So this is him talking a little bit about where he's coming from. And this is from a book event I did. So let's just listen. You're syncing up your vibration. You're on the same wavelength.
As Bashar has sort of described it, and the reason that he refers to it as telepathy is...
Telepathy is what we're all achieving in this fifth dimension. It's not just passing thoughts. It's becoming one mind. So this is Daryl talking about what Bashar's civilization, they live on fifth or higher level dimension. They are all telepathic.
He's attempting to get us to understand that there is a different mechanical explanation for a lot of things that we consider to be metaphysical experiences, rather than the older, outdated definitions. For example, most people would think that telepathy means that we're reading someone else's mind. What Bashar is basically saying is that's not really mechanically what's happening. What's happening is you are getting your own energy to be sort of on a similar wavelength with someone else. And therefore, when you're on a similar wavelength, you actually have the same thoughts at the same time, because that's the thought that goes with that frequency. So basically, you're reading your own mind, but synchronistically, you happen to know exactly what the other person is thinking. And this is why it's telepathy, because you see this example all the time with people who are in love with one another. Because that vibration, that similar harmonic resonance between those people allow them to really be on the same wavelength. And very often you'll see that people who are in love, they know exactly what each other is thinking. They finish each other's sentences. They hardly have to say a word to know what the other person is thinking, but that's just because they're having the same thought at the same time, because they're on the same frequency. So really the idea is the more in love we are with each other, the more telepathic we will naturally become.
Henrietta, why don't you tell Daryl what happened when you were reading his chapter in the book? Because I think that's a great place to start.
Okay, good. Well, hi, everyone. Yeah, so obviously I read Alan's book, which is really fantastic, by the way. You know, it really, like he says, leads you through a progression of so many different parts of the story, like pieces of the puzzle around UFO and abduction experiences, what they might signify. And I loved every essay in there, but I read Daryl's, and then and I loved that. And then I went to sleep, and I had a dream, which was one of those dreams which was very unlike any other dream I'd ever had. I've only had a few, which felt like I'd literally gone into another world, which was very brightly colored, the sort of saturated colors, which I'd never experienced in a dream. And it was kind of reminded me a bit of Blade Runner, but a lot more sort of joyful, you know, that kind of landscape. Yeah, no, but there's sort of lots of, you know, like a super futuristic, but also things that I didn't recognize. It felt like I was at home, but I also wasn't me as a human. I was like just a form of intelligence. But the whole experience, the whole dream felt kind of joyous and adventurous, but I was in a completely different world, and I'd never had a dream like that before. And I told Alan, and he said, well, I think, you know, that has something to do with the fact you read the essay. Yeah.
But thank you. First of all, Henrietta, that's really cool that you had that. A lot of times when people are presented with certain concepts that Bashar has brought through, there's a particular frequency to them that is a very high frequency that often people do report that once they're exposed to it, it does shift them somewhat into a slightly altered version of reality. And that can sometimes easily present itself in dreams when our conscious mind is out of the way. So I think what you were kind of experiencing, not that Bashar's world looks like what you described, but certainly the energy, the joyous energy, is what I experience all the time when he comes through me, because they're just high on life. I mean, it's just not any shadow in there at all in terms of their experience. And so if any of that sort of rubbed off on your consciousness during that particular chapter, that's great. That's a wonderful thing. And thank you for sharing that with me.
Okay, that's a little piece about what it is to experience this fifth dimensional higher energies that we're moving into. It is about joy, right, Kimberly? Anything you want to add to that?
No, I love that. That's amazing. I love him so much. He was one of the first channels I ever met. I met him at Topanga Mall. He was the one that said, yes, your eyes are blinking and channeling. And I love this whole thing that has transpired. And what they're talking about in the book is just spot on. It's amazing. It's just so much is going to transpire with what's going on right now with the book and and everything that Bashar is saying about telepathy. I started doing telepathy at about 8 years old with my father. My father his name was Kendall Lloyd Lamont, and my dad, I think, had hybrid in him. He was a phenomenal father. He had gone to Vietnam, he'd come back, and he was changed. Something had happened to him when he came back from the war. He was quiet. He wouldn't talk a lot. Something had shifted in him. He never was the same. And he would do things really different. Like he would say, let's do this game. And I was really little. And I would say, what game? And he would do this number thing with me and color thing with me. And I was really good at it. And the other kids, he wouldn't do it with them, only with me.
Well, you sort of came in also different as a different being.
Yeah, and he accepted it.
Well, that's yeah. Go ahead. Okay.
But I think my dad also was born as that too.
Well, that's what I think we should talk about a little bit. How do you know you're a hybrid?
Let's go into that right now. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, part of the things I list, sort of in my book and other places, that you never feel like you're sort of part of your family. You feel like your family is someplace else, or you're part of something else. So you might be the black sheep in the family, or you might just not like regular things that people do. Like, well, for me, I could just talk about team sports. It's like, oh, the team, playing baseball, football. It's like, no, you're more of an individual. You're more like, you're more the artist, the intuitive. I think lots of artists are hybrids because they're bringing in this dimensional frequency, new ideas, new scientists with a really open mind. So there's that. And it's like you resonate with spiritual truths. I mean, I guess all of us here do, but it's like when you finally find that, like, you can't find that in the mainstream world, but when you finally come upon like a spiritual text, it's like, oh, this is what I've been looking for.
Well, I remember, I only remember a few people in my life that I connected to as a child, as a teen, and as an adult. You were one of them as an adult. As a teen, very few. As a child, very few.
Right.
Yeah. And you're saying exactly what you're saying is true. And everyone in this audience probably is thinking, because when you are different, and I have a lot of clients that come on with me and they'll go, oh my God, this is the truth. It's very specific. And I'm sure you work with a lot of famous people, and I'm sure you hear a lot of that goes on.
Yeah, it's like there's the mainstream collective culture that is doing something. They're into commercialization, material, nothing wrong with material world, but if that's all that you're concerned with, then you're missing the big picture. I think a lot of people come in as hybrids or this opening and saying, what are people so preoccupied with just making money? There has to be more. There's nothing wrong with making money, but there has to be more to existence than just making money. But I mean, and my family, they're regular people, very nice people, but that's what they do. And there's nothing wrong with that. But, there's more to, and I think we're aware of this, everyone here, that we want more. We're here for this greater part of life.
The one more thing I want to say about my dad, I don't always talk about him, is that the thing about him was interesting. He had very interesting eyes. They were very blue, very deep. He was very intelligent. He knew vast amount of math beyond trigonometry, and he could do very interesting things he was an architect, and he was friends with a very famous director, John Huston.
Oh, I love John Huston.
John Huston also had abilities.
John Huston was great. Yeah, a great director.
They would do. They built boats, yachts over there. But when my dad died young, doing this thing with me, this telepathy thing. Everybody was like, don't do that with her. They didn't want him doing that with me. Yeah. So anyway, let's do the class. Let's ask.
Yeah. Let's ask people to come forward if they have, like, what does anyone want to share, like how they felt they were different than their family or the rest of the world? Because this is all about our collective awareness. Does anyone just want to raise their hand? I mean, I'm sure, is that Kat psychic medium? She must have felt different. Do you have anything to say, Kat? You want to unmute yourself?
Oh,
Unmute, yes.
oh
Go
dear,
ahead.
where would I begin? Where would I begin with that? Yeah, it was interesting because I would, in my family, when I was young, I could see like my other siblings would always be trying to like, they just get into trouble. But I would be sitting there like, why would you ever even do that? Like, why are you, like, I just felt different. Like, it's almost, not that they were, I mean, they were children, so they wouldn't get, you know, it was like they like to be mischievous and do things like that. And for me, I would just sit there like this little angel. Not that I'm not, we all are angels, but you know, we'd have like, you know, if there was a babysitter that would come over, he would just sit there and look at me like, you're so sweet. You just sit there, and like all my brothers and sister would be often getting into trouble. And it was like, but that's how my life was always about. It's like I couldn't understand the difference where everybody was out there like causing trouble and chaos. I was like, why can't everybody just be so nice to each other? You know, so I did definitely feel a difference then. I mean, yes, I think we all, you know, I mean, that's a given here. But I definitely felt different. And big, huge connection to nature and animals where they weren't. And so I think we all kind of have that with our family members. So I think they're our biggest lesson.
Definitely. They are our biggest lessons. That's why we incarnate into those families.
Absolutely. We chose them.
I mean, it's interesting what you say about why do people want to cause trouble? Like I think about like hackers and trolls. Why does anyone want to do that? Why can't we just get along? Why can't everyone just get along? You know?
The hackers and the trolls. I was just doing an event, and boy, or actually it was Facebook Live last night, and some trolls came in on video, and that was quite shocking. And I felt, you know, I'm like, they just have this desire to, you know, be seen and be noticed. So they're missing that element, is what I feel like. You know, they're trying to search for it, whereas we've already found it.
Right. And I think that's what makes all of us different, is that even though we may have felt alone as children, now we found something, each other, or like a higher awareness. Like Kimberly's father was very important for your development, Kimberly. So anyone else want to share any kind of yes, Bridget. Yes, unmute. Yes, welcome. Wait, we can't hear you. Is your mic?
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Go ahead.
I'm like a Verizon commercial. So yeah, I mean, Kat, it's the same thing in my family. I fell in between two Scorpio children. I was a Taurus in the middle. And that was part of my learning, I think, very much so. I was so opposite of them. They're kind of aggressive and manipulative as children even. And I was quiet, and I was the kind baby or whatever. But I noticed very young that I could touch people and feel through my hands into my throat and my belly where I could relieve their pain on their body. My father's from India. My mother's from Alaska. My lineage is Sikh kind of religious royalty type. We descend from Guru Nanak in the Sikh religion, and so my grandfather did. He also was a scholar and walked with Gandhi on his peace walks. He was the Sikh scholar because he was a descendant of Guru Nanak. And now we're totally American. You know, my grandmother and I share the same birthday, my Indian grandmother. And I, in turn, have gone into, and I, at 19, found yoga, and I teach yoga. And the gift
It's sort of a hybrid, you're telling us. You know, the Alaskan Indian thing is a hybrid.
It must, well, that, I mean, literally.
Literally.
But it's really, I've always been energetic, where my whole family, even the Indian side, they all deny it.
Hmm.
And
They deny what? They deny feeling energy?
they deny the old ancient culture of spirituality, except for my. Is that my mic doing that?
That's okay. That's okay.
Oh, okay. Um, anyways, I'm totally different than the entire family. There's not one person besides my grandmother. I didn't know my grandfather. He died. Well, he died when I was 2. But I went into teaching yoga, and to this day, and the more I teach and the more I give, the more energy I can move.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Wow, that's great. I think you bring up a good point, is that the hybrids bring in a greater connection from some other star system sometimes, some other qualities that we're bringing into Earth here. This is what a woman, Linda Bachman, talks about. What do you say, Kimberly?
Can I just say one thing?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Just before, because I want to hear what Kimberly has to say about this aspect. Ever since, it's kind of a little bit before we went on quarantine with the pandemic, and it hasn't stopped. My body is it's always vibrating, especially up in my head area. And it's not anxious. It's not like that. It's just, I'm vibrating.
Yeah.
Don't have a hard time going to sleep at all. But I wake up until I go to bed, and I can feel the constantly.
Which part of the world are you in?
I'm in Nashville, Tennessee.
Well, that's a vibration. That's a vortex.
It is a vibration. It's a very spiritual city.
It is.
Lots
Yeah.
of artists, very transient.
Right. Yes. I mean, I felt that in Sedona, which was another place. My whole body vibrating.
Yeah.
So-
I'm like jittery all the time. It doesn't bother me. It's just noticeable.
No, it's the extension. It's the acceleration. It's what's happening. Definitely. Kimberly, what do you say? Is your body vibrating?
I was trying to get us all 3 on the main screen. so we can-
Oh, let me see if we just do a pin. If we add a pin to everybody, I'll add a pin to you.
Oh, there we
Anyway. Okay. Where are you, Kimberly? I'm looking for your. Can you add a pin?
Yeah,
Oh, there. Okay, I'm adding a pin to you. There we go. All right. There we go. There.
Oh, now
Now
you're
we're
going.
on. Okay. What were you going to say?
Oh, I don't see her now.
Yeah, we're all in. Well, we're all in the. If you go
There
to
we are.
speaker.
There we are.
Okay.
Together. So I didn't quite hear your question. What was your question you had?
My question about that I've been vibrating since just before we were put on quarantine. It's a physical vibration. It's not emotional. It doesn't cause me any. I'm not uncomfortable.
When you say vibration, are you meaning from your brain or from a mental or
You know
emotional?
what? More of it. It's physical, and it's more of it is up in my head, but it's in my hands. And sometimes it's my whole body, but mostly it's up in front in my head up here.
Yeah.
It's in my hands a lot.
Do you
It's
feel
just
in the upper chest up here? Like, do you feel like this?
You know, I think sometimes that feels like anxiety when it does go there. Maybe I'm not wanting it to be there because it doesn't feel great when I feel like that. And the interesting thing is when I'm teaching yoga, by the way, all on Zoom, for the last almost 2 years, it all goes away. It is I'm just like in the flow, like if I was in the room, but that vibration starts right when they come out of Shavasana. It just buzzes.
Can you tune in, Kimberly?
Medium. So we're going to do a couple scans at the end of the class today, but I would have to probably do a full-blown medical medium scan on you to figure out, because that's kind of just, it's not really giving, what you're telling me could be so many different things.
Mm-hmm.
having lightheadedness and feelings like that could mean so a gamut of things that are going on, because we're staying on the hybrid civilization thing right now.
It does sound like an acceleration, though, in the body, like a quickening.
It feels that way. It feels like I'm supposed to be doing something different than I do.
Yeah, so if I could just finish what my guides are telling me, they have other information that they're giving me about you.
Okay.
There's, maybe that is happening, but there's something else going on top of that. If I was going to give you a full body reading, they're going on your lower hip, your back, they're going on your pelvic area. I mean, I do full blown medical readings, and I also read the dead. So I do every single thing. They are saying, yeah, maybe you are having an awakening, sure, cool, that is happening. But there also is other things going on too in your hormones. They're saying they keep going to your uterus with me. They keep going to your lower back. They keep going, around your mouth. They're going, so there's other things happening too.
Well, that's amazing, because I have 4 herniated discs. I have to take a medication that suppresses the hormones for inflammation. And I was in a car accident with a brain injury in 2013. So
they just want to give you some gentle input that, yes, they are confirming you are having some good stuff happening there, but they would also want to give you some comforting, gentle information about your health needs. So I am here for you if you want that also.
Great. Yes, I will make an appointment.
Kimberly, why don't you talk about how you work for people who aren't familiar with your work? Because I think that's very key.
I do work with Ascending Masters, Mary, Jesus, of course, and the higher civilizations also come through me. I scan people's bodies, and like 1 minute now, I can just look at you and go right through your body. And then I get downloads of people have crossed over, trying to give information, and I also do healing energy through you through my hands.
Wow.
And I can do it at a distance too. It doesn't have to be at the office.
Wow, amazing.
Is this part of fifth dimensional energies, or is that beyond fifth dimension, what you're doing? See, when she does that, she's channeling. Okay.
You're so cute. Yeah, it is beyond fifth dimension. But the reason the book that I wrote is called Awakening to Fifth Dimension is because a lot of people, because we're all very advanced here, we want to start at least getting everybody in the 5. But in the book, I do talk about 12 and beyond. But we want to at least get in the 5D. But yes, it's beyond fifth dimension, the work.
Great. Well, and then you do private sessions as well, if people want to call you, right?
Private sessions. Yeah, we do lots of private sessions. I love my private.
I have an appointment for my husband with you earlier.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
When is it?
Yeah, I think it's October 8th.
Okay, great.
And we definitely need you.
How did you hear about me?
In the middle of the night, I had woken up and I heard an 18-minute piece on George Norrie, you with George Norrie.
Oh,
yeah.
That's great. Yes, George Norrie's gotten you a lot of places, Kimberly.
Like it?
Yeah, amazing. It was amazing.
Yeah, that was an interesting night.
Well, thanks, Bridget, for sharing. And does anyone else have anything about their awakening, their differences, feeling like they've been, coming from another world to this strange planet? Anybody who have anything to share about that?
Implanted, abducted. We want to talk about abducted, implant. If you feel you've had an implant,
yes.
If Alan is okay with it, I'm okay. We want to talk about if you feel you've had an implant, you've been abducted, you've had an experience with an ET.
Let's talk about the difference between maybe positive implants and maybe negative implants. You want to talk about that a little bit, Kimberly?
That. I have a lot of clients that come to the office and they think they've had an implant. They want me to take it out of them. And also they've had experiences with ETs. I've had experiences with ETs right in my home.
Right. So when is something like a good implant? Why would someone want that in their bodies?
Why don't you tell me?
Well, I'll tell you what I know. I wouldn't say it's an implant, but it's an etheric upgrade that people have. So it's not in the physical body, but if you've been interacting with these positive ETs, there's sort of like what Bridget described a little bit. There's an acceleration, and sometimes in your field, there's an energetic, maybe like a generator that's helping this sort of upgrade happening. So it's like pumping a higher field into your kind of auric awareness, if that makes sense.
So you're saying like a little, like the ones that I have seen and witnessed, like a little rice pebble or something very small, they'll implant in you and it'll give you like a download.
Yeah, that's part of the good positive implants. This is what Whitley Strieber was told me. He has an implant right above his ear and he uses it to write. He kind of touches it and it kind of like scans a content and he writes what it's sort of telling him to write in a sense. So
yeah, no, I've felt those in people. They have small ones. I found the negative ones in people, which I can dismiss out of them like that and have them leave. Do you want to open the gallery and see who wants to wave and ask these things?
I mean, if anyone also has an implant and wants to or feels that they do, I'm on gallery view now. I think I just have to remove the pins from.
You're like the pro, and I'm the pro getting them out of people.
Okay. Does anyone have like something they want that they? I mean, we're all here because we suspect that we are connected to a greater reality, and is anyone bothered by that, or does anyone want to share an aspect of that bigger reality that we're part of? We're all part of it, but does anyone feel like they even have an implant somewhere and Kimberly can read it to see if it's a positive or negative? Anybody? Justin, did you want to volunteer?
Or we could talk about something else, like maybe.
Justin's going to tell us. Go ahead, Justin.
Yeah, sure, why not? I've always been curious to see if I've actually had any of them. I had a reading done a little while ago that I used to have them come visit me when I was little. And it's funny that you brought me on because I got something to show you that I did sketch out here.
Let's bring Justin up to the stage.
Yeah, Justin is here. Let me spotlight Justin.
Hey, Justin.
Hey, Kim. So I did this. I don't know if I have no idea what it means.
Oh,
that's one of many I've done.
Looks like cuneiform, actually. There's a language. It looks like a written language of ancient Babylonian. Yeah.
I've done numerous of these and it just happens. It just randomly, I get them in dreams. I don't know how they come to me, but I've always been curious to see if I've actually had an implant in me.
It looks very bad. Look at some of the Babylonian texts, like where the Anunnaki, where they're writing about the Anunnaki. It is something for sure. It is something. What do you get, Kimberly?
Well, okay. So my guys, they'll blink negative or positive. The top part. Oh, let me come back. Yeah. The top part, they're blinking very strong. Yes, yes, yes. God, 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 meaning this is true. Then the bottom part, on the lower right, left, they don't like that one circle where there's like a bunch on the third row. And then the rest of them they like. There's one they don't like. It's the one to the right circle. The rest of them they like. Every one of them they like, but one. They're going, no, no, no.
That one looks like a cartouche of a name. You know, they would do these names in these form. If it's cuneiform, they would circle it in a certain way.
And it has is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It says it's almost like looks like a 15 is in it.
Here, I'll back up a little bit and see if that helps.
It has a
Oh.
1 and a 5 inside the circle, and they don't like it.
Okay. But what do you think is coming? What do you think is happening to Justin when he's bringing this image information through?
Well, most of the time it's usually a good feeling and they just want me to write it out. So I just write it out and hopefully I come across somebody that'll help me translate. Like I said, it's usually a good feeling is what I get from them when they talk to me.
Definitely look at Assyrian, Babylonian, Mesopotamian script and maybe.
Yeah, I think they're using him to channel messages in the
Yeah.
7th dimension.
In the 7th dimension?
You're telling me the 7th dimension.
Mm-hmm. Great. Well, that's good.
I was going to say another thing with me, I used to talk about astral travel before it even became mainstream media. And I always thought it was crazy. I always used to talk about it with a friend of mine because we'd visit each other all the time. And about the love thing that you had mentioned, that is actually proven true. I was close to somebody where we'd read each other's thoughts. I'd know she'd call me before she'd even call me. I'd hear the ringtone in my head. So yeah, that's proven true.
Great.
Yeah,
Great.
that's going on still with my grandma and my little brother, Wilhelm Tyler. I still have contact with him. He died at 14 and a half years old, and he's still contacting me from the other side.
Wow. Well, how you feel? Are you feeling an acceleration, Justin? As you know,
I'm vibrating like crazy, especially after the meditation we did. Cold shivers, cold trembles.
Yeah, this will do it because we're bringing in the hybrids, the souls of the hybrids that have crossed over. They don't live forever. They cross too. So they come back in and out also.
You know, you might like Kimberly's book because she talks about diet in there. She does certain meditations. It's a kind of all-in-one encyclopedia for going in and keeping that vibratory rate present in the body, you know, present in consciousness. So it's that I would get a copy when you can. When is it going out publicly? You can order on Amazon.
In 11 weeks, 58 days. In 11 weeks and 58 days, the book will be out.
But we're all here to go to this next dimensional space. Thanks, Justin. That was excellent. Thanks for sharing that too.
I do have a lot more. I keep a dream journal next to me, and I've drawn some weird stuff. I drew what looked like to be a computer screen, and there was only 2 logos on it, and one was a cloud and one was a trash can.
Great. Let's keep this rocking right now. There's a lot of people. Justin, you're amazing. I love you. You are so just, you know, everything's going to be great for you. I know, I feel it.
Yeah, you're a good guy and keep up the work. Don't doubt yourself. Go for it.
Keep channeling.
Really, you're important. You got something to bring through the planet here.
He's like so amazing.
Yeah.
I want to hit a couple people in the room because I know they need you, Ellen.
Well, that's okay. Yeah.
Lisa Walter. Lisa, do you want to talk about any implants that you may have or you think you have? I'm getting a hit on Lisa Walter.
Okay. If you don't want to start your camera, you don't have to, but you can unmute yourself, Lisa.
Lisa, do you want to talk about something? I feel like it. Lisa?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, do you want to or no? Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. Yeah, please. I'm so sorry. I was driving, which is really dumb of me. I never dreamed you'd call on me.
Oh, do you want to talk to Ellen about?
No, I'd absolutely please.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, talk to us, Lisa.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what to ask, but
well, yeah, what's been happening?
I'm definitely feeling, feeling a spiritual awakening. Just a lot of epiphanies, and it's just been wonderful.
Do you feel a connection to the ETs? Do you feel a connection to hybrids? Do you feel a connection that you're having an awakening where you ever felt you were abducted? Do you want to ask Alan a question? He's doing a special event with us today. If not, we can pass it over to somebody else.
Well, not just abducted, but because you're kind of vibrating at a new frequency.
Yes.
You just what triggered it? Yeah, go ahead.
What triggered it was something traumatic with my brother.
Oh, I don't think we can hear
And
her.
I went to our old house where we grew up, and I started sobbing. Here, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, yes. We can hear you. Go
Oh,
ahead. You started sobbing. You
okay.
went to your old house with your brother, and
And
what happened?
there was no one around, but these. This is gonna sound so crazy, but these crows,
Uh-huh.
these birds. There were 3 crows, and they just kept trying. I could tell they were trying to get my attention. And when I finally turned towards them, I was still sobbing, and all I said was, "Can you please help?" And they started flying around my head, making these beautiful noises. They did it for about half an hour, 45 minutes. It was the most beautiful thing. And I laid down and I meditated. And ever since then, I've just felt on a whole different level.
Maybe those were
I don't
really
know if you,
angelic beings, or they weren't just, they may be, that was an initiation. That was an upgrade. That was a,
oh,
definitely.
thank you.
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
Thank you for
I
sharing.
have so much to tell you, Alan. I mean, I could take 2
Oh,
hours.
well, tell me a little more. Tell me, please. I'm interested.
Well,
Yes.
okay, all right. Well, okay. I sensed during the meditation, because the crows stayed there with me while I was meditating on the grass,
Uh-huh.
and I sensed that they wanted me to come back at some point, but I didn't know when. But I sensed the day I was supposed to go, and I Uber for a living.
You
I
Uber
picked
for
up
a living. Okay.
yes, right now. And
Yes.
I picked up this man that I think was either a psychic or an angel. I don't know who he was.
And maybe he was a hybrid. Yeah.
He knew everything about me, and he knew exactly why I was going back to the house, and he told me what to do. And he said to do it at midnight. It was with, this sounds so nutty, but it's with sea salt to help raise frequency at the house, because my brother's energy is still at the house, you know, from us living there, all the love that was there. And so he told me to go there at midnight and to put it along the fence.
Wow.
And when I went back, I knew what he meant by the fence, because the fence goes right up to my brother's room where he used to be. So I did that, and then it really skyrocketed. Then I really was having all these epiphanies and just wonderful things. And
Wow.
but I've been really feeling a connection with animals, crows, and doves have been all around me. It's just amazing.
You know, you bring up a really important point, that there are these beings walking among us that may look like humans, but they're really here to assist. They really are. And you can feel that love vibration coming off of them. But
I finally turned to him, and I said, are you an angel? You know, I said it, I meant it, but I didn't want to sound like a nut, you know, but I'm like, are you and he goes, oh, no. And I said, well, you either aren't, or you're just pretending you're not one. And he started laughing. It was the neatest.
I think also angels angels for each other.
No, he was definitely there to assist me with it, because it's a major thing that's going on with my brother. And I just, there's another thing to tell you. I just went to visit him in Texas, and we had a beautiful trip. I've been asking Spirit to help me, what he wants me to do to help him with this. And it was, just to make a long story short, the next day I had a $400 phone bill that I had to pay, or they were going to shut off my phone.
Wow.
And I'm not joking you. I went to the phone, to AT&T, the app, and it had been paid.
Wow.
It had been paid. Nothing. I called AT&T and I said, do I owe you any money? They're like, no, your next payment is October, blah, blah, blah. There's no way that someone could have paid that for me, because I have a passcode on the account.
Well,
and I had to get,
Go ahead. No, you were vibrating. You are definitely but go ahead. You had to finish that thought?
Oh no, I was so overwhelmed and grateful. I had to get out of the car and sit down, and I just cried, and I just kept saying, thank you so much for allowing me to know that this is real. You know, I mean, that was a definite blessing. That was a definite miracle.
Wow. Beautiful. What part of the country are you in?
Orange County.
Oh, great.
Newport Beach. Yeah.
Well, there's angels everywhere. Thanks. That is great, Lisa. You can always email me at newrealities@earthlink.net. I'll put that.
Thank you. And may I ask one more thing?
Anything you
There have
want.
been
Sure.
these strange lights outside my bedroom window,
Mhm.
and I swear to God, I even have a video of it. I can send it to you because it's there, and I don't remember them being there before that day with the crows.
Mhm.
Actually, the night that I went to the house at midnight, I felt like a nut that night, but I didn't. It was wonderful. But there's been these lights that I swear looks like some kind of a spaceship, and it has a red light at the top, and they're super bright lights, and they're all consecutive, but they look kind of like they start to curve, and I can't find the source of those lights during the day. They're there during the day, but you can't quite see them. You know, you can sort of see them and
Yes.
still see them you start to see them like at dusk, but then it gets really bright. And I showed people videos, and they're like, "Oh my God, that does look like." And then they say, "Oh, it's just the way the light patterns go." I'm like, "No, there's something weird here." I mean, is there spaceships or something?
Yes, interdimensional beings, because you're raising your frequency, you're like a lighthouse. They like, boom, they're here, they're showing up for you because you're now vibrating on the level that can welcome that consciousness. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank
You're-
you, Lisa, so much for your coming on.
I'll stop now, but I'll
No,
send you
that's
the video,
excellent.
Alan, of this outside my window. You'll be like, "Oh my gosh."
No,
Okay. Thank you, Kimberly.
you're
Yeah,
one of
yeah.
them. They're here to meet you. So stay open-minded to information.
Oh, absolutely. Are you kidding me? Oh, I'm so excited.
Lisa, you're
I feel wonderful.
Yes. Yeah. Great. Thanks for
Oh.
sharing. That is excellent.
Thank you. Thank you. My
Thank you,
goodness
Lisa.
gracious.
You're a really great client of mine. I'm really happy. I've heard your beautiful story before. And
Yeah,
I'm going to mute Lisa right now, if we can mute Lisa.
I'll
And
shut up.
No, it's okay. Thank you.
I love Lisa's story. I just want to make sure we have enough time to hear many stories. And I know we only have till 4. And I really wanted to say that I feel like many people have had encounters with ETs, and many people sometimes think, did that really happen? I can't believe that happened. And many people may be thinking a couple seconds like, wow, did I see a spaceship? Did that really go on? So I wanted to get around the room and make sure that we had enough time, to do that. Raise your hand right now. I just want to say hi to some people here. I see Corrine, I see Nancy, I see Jill, I see Kim, hi. I see Jay, hi Jay. I see Carol, I see, oh my God, Claudia, Pia, Anne, Joyce. Raise your hand just so I can see how many have had an encounter, just so I can see your raise of hands. Maybe someone never has had an encounter. Maybe you're like, I've been at the bank and I looked at someone. I was like, wow, maybe there was somebody next to me, I don't know. And this is kind of like, I don't know, or maybe I was dating someone and that person felt like they were a hybrid, or maybe they were an ET, or just I don't know. So, I had a full-blown encounter. I never thought in a million years, and now who knows, I probably have this channeling the civilizations that come to me. I know that's for sure going on. You may be like, well, I don't want Kimberly to do that, but that's what's going on. So there's so much in this amazing book that I could just keep reading and reading and reading. I just found another thing I want to read to you guys. But before I go on to read something else in Ellen's book, I want to make sure we do have 45 minutes left.
And I want you to scan some people to show them what you do too. So we'll do that.
We have a minute, yeah. But I do want to say, I do feel like, real quick, if that's okay. There was something in your book. It's not like I'm obsessing on your book or anything, but
It's okay. You can if you want to obsess on the book.
No,
It's good for business. No,
there is something that it does touch on with my life, but I do want to make sure if we go around the room right now, we keep it down. I don't want to be like, but I do want to keep your story to a 3-minute story, if that's okay. A 3 to 4 minute story of what you have experienced. And we may do a second class to this.
Right. It would be great to hear as many people as possible share. And also Leanne is here. She has some ET drawings that she just brings in. So,
cool.
Okay. So
it really does help us to hear what you have experienced. So let me give you my 3 to 4 minute story of me. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Really, and then I'm going to read something from the book.
Okay.
So here I go. And then whoever else has a 3 to 4 minute story.
Well, there's some people with their hands up, Dana and Nancy. So go ahead. We'll read your thing and then we'll get some people. Okay.
Thank you. So I'm going to say my 3 to 4 minute story, maybe even shorter because I can talk super fast. Okay. I started out as a healer medium in Sherman Oaks, California, not knowing that I was becoming a hybrid or whatever. The civilizations were coming through me and channeling, because once you're an open channel, you're going to get messages. I met Bashar Daralanka, who is friends with Alan, through a high school boyfriend who saw me starting to blink, Eric Middleman, who said, you need to meet a channeler who needs to see what the heck's going on with your eyes. So I met him out at a mall. He looked at me and he said, you're a channel. I said, okay. Flash forward. I'm in my apartment. I'm putting on a little gathering in my house, which is a service in my apartment. Cookies and cakes and things going on in my house, minding my own business. I invite about 25 people to my home. At this event in my home, I've only been doing this work about, I'd say, 9 months after I met Daryl. Word was starting to spread around LA that I was becoming a medium and a healer. In comes, okay, now just get ready. Hope you guys, are you guys sitting and breathing? Okay, good. Justin goes like this. In comes, and I'm not, this is across my heart and hope. I already died, so the heavens. In comes a 7-foot man, no, ET, into my home, walking in, and his friend, I won't name who the friend is because Alan knows him. And in comes, they come in the house and they say to me, hi, we're here for your party. I said, okay, it wasn't a party. It was a healing class I was doing. And they sit down on the couch and I looked at them. They looked at me. I had a respiratory therapist at my house. I had 5 friends, another person who's a spiritual healer. So there was about maybe 6 people witnessing this. I start to put the things around. The man is sitting there, very big, tall, had a jacket on, a hood, staring at me. I start to do my stuff. He looks at me. His friend's on the other couch, has a big cape. He says, hi, how long you been to healer? I said, just a couple years. He says, oh, I served in the war. I am with God. He says, come over here and hold my hand. I want to show you something in my hand. I said, what about? Just hold my hand. I want to show you something. I said, okay. So I go over to him and I touch him with my hand. When I went over to him across the room and to put my hand out, my girlfriend that's a respiratory therapist, my friend that's a spiritual healer, 2 other girlfriends are sitting on the couch. The man that brought him to my home is sitting on the other couch. When I went to touch his hand, my hand was electrocuted like this, shaking, went right to my heart, shocked me. I threw back on the floor. He looked at me in my eyes, and his eyes went upward like that and morphed. Yep. And I said, let go of me, like that. That's all I remember. And my friend that's a respiratory therapist froze. She could not move. She completely was like this. And everyone in the room was just standing there like this. And then guess what happened? He looked at the friend, the other person. My one girlfriend was okay. And he said, it's not working. I can't get at her heart. And he goes, let's go. He let go of my hand. I went back. I was like this. I got up and I said, get out of my house. You are not with God. And he goes like this. He stared at me and he goes, I'm leaving now. He got up and he went with a friend and they left. My heart felt like it was completely torn out of my heart. It was beating so fast. My girlfriend that was frozen, she was like this. I swear to God, this is my encounter with this ET. And the ET was a specific kind, not the friendly one. About an hour and a half later, the man that brought him came back and he said, I said, what are you doing here? He goes, I want to come back and tell you what happened to him. I said, what? He said, he told me they're not coming back to bother you anymore. You are with God. They're not going to come back and they're leaving you alone. What did they want from me? They wanted information from your heart and your abilities in your brain. Are they leaving me forever? Yes, they're leaving you. What do they want from me? They want to know what you do with your brain and your mind. And they wanted to go through your heart. I said, tell them to leave me. They are leaving you. Who are they? They are specific aliens, ETs. And I can't release right now who they are, but they were specific ETs that were looking for information from me. So this is why I want to tell you, this book needs to be read. They are here. They're good ones and bad ones, but they know when you are strong, and I am strong. When I got up after this shock of me falling backwards and I pulled myself up and I looked at him in my eyes and I said, are you with God? And he would not answer. And I said, you need to go now. And he got up and he looked at his friend. He goes, we need to go. And they got up and they left. And that is true. I had 6 people in here and they witnessed it. Now, here's the big thing. The lady, my respiratory therapist that I've known for years, when her fiance showed up at the event after, and he walked through the door, and you know some of these people, Alan. He goes, what's going on here? She goes, there was an ET here, and he froze me. And he threw Kimberly on the ground. And he goes, what? And he goes, and I'm marrying you? And she goes, his eyes morphed and they were yellow. And he goes, like the movies? She goes, yes. And everybody was in shambles in the room.
But what does that have to do? I don't remember a chapter like that in my book.
Well, you need to put it in your book because these happenings are happening everywhere.
I believe you. Yes. Yes.
Oh,
yes.
yes. they show up all over at events.
I agree. There's angels like Lisa, and there's others.
They try to get information from people that have high abilities.
Mhm. Right, right. It's true.
Well, in your book, it says here, I
Yeah.
was taken from my bedroom one night and I was carried out of the house. These beings have the ability to literally walk through walls and doors and solid objects. Yeah, they walked right through my door, came in the house. Some of them are kept at hotels. They're hidden from the government, like this one was. And when they pass through, they're momentarily regain normal walking and consciousness. They're hidden with hoodies. Some of them are long heads. They begin to fight and they have the strength and the power. And that is the truth. And they can zap your hand and go right through your heart. So anyway, to sum up my bringing back my heart, the end of my story was for 3 days later, I watched a bunch of Jim Carrey movies to bring back the laughter in my heart.
Good.
Okay, so let's open the room and I want to hear some other people's stories.
Yes, and I want you to scan some people because
See if I have enough time at the end. Yeah, cool.
but yeah, does anyone else have like an encounter story or some kind of even dream state and some altered state? Did someone, oh wait, who had their hand? Oh yeah, Dana. Yes, unmute yourself. Yes.
Hi, I'm Dina.
Yeah.
I can share. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
I
Yeah.
can share a quick implant story.
Please, we'd like to hear implant stories. Yes.
Anyways, when I was 17, and I'm double that now, over double than that now, I had an encounter in my bedroom at night where an object came in my room that looked like the size of a Rubik's Cube. It was black. It was metal. I remember I could smell it. And it sprayed me and froze me. But I was somehow able to see. And I watched it go into my door frame and create the most beautiful, I call it Sanskrit. The language it was typing over and over in my doorway was so beautiful. I just watched it. It happened for a while. And I remember thinking, this is a long time for them to record who I am and where I live and what's going on. It just went on for, it seemed like a long time. But I also was getting scared because I couldn't move. And the second part of the story, to shorten it, is all of a sudden I'm in a different room in my house. And I don't remember getting there, but I remember now the device is on the side of my head and I can hear it. And now I'm freaked out. I knew something was coming in me and I could see out of the corner of my eye, a long metal prong slowly coming out of the box. It sounded like a dentist drill and it went into the side of my neck, although I couldn't feel it, but I knew exactly where it was. I could see it. And I don't remember how long after that. I was traumatized by that. So I never talked about it, except for to my boyfriend at the time, that I felt, I don't remember the first time I felt the object in my neck, but it's still there. And it's the size of a tiny little BB and it's inside a little fatty pocket and I can push it till the little BB comes out. It's tiny, but it's hard and you can feel it's metal.
Let's see. Oh, go ahead. No, I just want to see.
The very end of the story is there was an author that came on, George Norrie, who wrote a book. She took another alien counter investigator stories and put them all in a book. Well, I emailed her this story because she mentioned a black box and I've always wondered, I've been fascinated by this box, but you can't find anything on the internet. It takes you to weird places. Well, anyways, she had a similar story and she has the exact same implant on the exact same side of her neck. So we had a phone conversation and she took notes about my story, but I'm really curious about this box and if the implant is good.
Whitley Strieber has one about that size right above his ear. But Kimberly, can you tune into Dana's implant and see what's going on there?
Is it on her left side?
My right side.
Oh, you're right. Okay. I see. How long have you had it?
Well, that's the question. But my intuition is that maybe it always was there, and maybe they were checking it. Maybe I don't know. I just
Does
never
it,
felt there until after that experience.
does it feel positive or negative? How does it feel?
It feels like nothing.
But
Honestly, I have had very strange encounters that definitely all happened after that experience, but I don't know if they're connected. But I don't feel anything negative about the implant.
Yeah, I'm not getting anything negative about it. I'm getting, yeah, I'm getting someone crossed over around you that passed. I don't know if you've had people pass in the recent years, like the last 7 years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I get more about that. People have passed away in the last 7 years that are around you, watching over you.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
As far as the implant that's around you, I don't think that was a negative implant. Sometimes implants are put into us to help, like boost your ascension, your awakening too.
yeah,
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, those are used to help humanity because I believe that, and this may go well in this room or not well, but there's a lot of things that we're seeing, like news and shows and things that are on the air that are going to be depopulating, and new things are going to be coming on that are more proactive for the communities, and these are being taken over by hybrids. These are going to be taken over by people helping humanity move forward in the way that they want them to happen.
Oh, it's like an upgrade, a little upgrade button.
yeah. It's an
Yeah.
acceleration. Yeah.
If it happens,
Perfect.
it's not always going to be a negative thing. Yeah.
Good.
So
Yeah.
congratulations for having your implant.
Thank you. My upgrade. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thanks. Nancy had her hand up before. Nancy, do you want to share anything? Welcome. Oh, Nancy shut off her camera for some reason.
Implant party.
Well, we'll compare implant. Well, why would Nancy, if you want to come on, let me just have Leanne come on and show us some of her drawings that she gets from these other beings. And then you could do your thing, Kimberly. Hi, Leanne. Put your unmute yourself. Unmute. Yeah, we can't hear you, but let's see your drawings.
Hi, Nancy. Oh no, Leanne. Hi, Leanne.
Yeah. Look at these.
That's beautiful.
These
What is
just, that's one of the beings that comes to her.
Oh, wow. I can't hear Leanne.
I know, Leanne, your mic is muted or it's just not connected to your computer somehow.
Here, maybe that'll work. Is that
That's better. Yes, yes, yes. Go ahead. Show us what else you got there.
Hi, Leanne.
Hi, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Leanne.
Hi.
What do you, okay.
Oh my
Who's
God, that looks like hybrid eyes.
Who is that, Leanne? You get a message with that one?
I just feel like it's a team. I just feel like it's higher aspects of me. Like if an oversoul has 144 fractals of itself, I'm all these guys.
She's a 10th dimensional fractal. I get 10th dimensional.
Oh, that's a beautiful one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait, hold on. I want to take a screenshot of that. That's really nice.
It's not done yet.
But it's great. It's sort of good. It sort of feels like it's like you could keep it not done.
That's gorgeous.
It's-
Oh, that's cool.
Third eye.
oh, what's that?
That was just a practice, but it's kind of cool.
It's a kind of crystalline wand type thing, right? Yeah. So do you get messages?
This makes me think of you. I don't know why, Alan.
Oh, those are my relatives. Yeah. Thanks.
No,
Yes.
no, they're smart.
Right. No, the big heads like Akhenaten, the Egyptian pharaoh, was definitely a hybrid. He had that big elongated skull for people who've seen pictures of Akhenaten. So there've been hybrids throughout history. Like I said, Einstein was one. He created a whole new science based on these higher vibrational understandings. I mean, Tesla, he brought electricity, alternate current there. I mean, our history has been made by these beings coming into the ordinary humanity and giving us gifts, which has changed the world. I mean, maybe Steve Jobs, I don't know his personal history, but there are definitely, you know, men and women for sure that have upgraded our civilization because they're bringing in higher dimensional qualities. So, Nancy, did you want to say something? Yes.
Sure.
Okay.
Now I can talk. I had something popped up and then I couldn't get to the unmute. It's like,
That's okay. Okay, great.
So a couple of years ago when I was walking at the beach, I was having all these encounters and they were a little strange. I mean, they were human like people, but you know, it was just, I was getting a very weird vibe with the whole thing. And actually at the time I'd asked Kimberly and she said yes, that they were reaching out to me. And since then I've had a couple of different things. One was an encounter at the beach where I was walking and I could see, you know, all of the seagulls like going up and down and doing this pattern thing. And as I got closer, there was an individual, a young man, and he had like this black cape on and he was orchestrating the whole thing. And I just stood there kind of dumbfounded, and he could sense that I could see him, and he turned and he looked at me and then got kind of frustrated and just kind of wrapped his cape around him and kind of walked off and just kind of disappeared. So I was like, oh, a wizard. So yeah, I don't know if he was just visiting, I guess. But my one thing that I had happened to me about a month and a half ago was kind of, you know, when I have those dreams and whatnot in the twilight hours, you know, they're usually foretelling. And I had somebody, a being, come into my room, and it was dark, so I couldn't see, but I could sense that it was kind of a small being. And I can remember in my head thinking, you know, my dog was like right outside my room, laying on the couch, thinking, you know, Kai, you come in here right now. But you know, I wasn't really afraid, but you know, I knew that something was in my room. And then all of a sudden I could feel that my spine was being kind of manipulated, you know, almost like when you go to a chiropractor and she's going through pressure points on your spine.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I was having some sort of implant put in or some kind of psychic surgery or healing, but something definitely was going on.
Well, I was going to say that they do. I've had that feeling of this. They actually kind of accelerate the energy up the spine. I mean, they do something to the nervous system at the base of the spine. It could be related to Kundalini awakening, but that is very common among people who are interacting and are hybrids. You know, they follow people from generation to generation. Like, I think my grandmother was seated and my mother had experience. And then they get to the next generation and you're more able to interchange genetically with these beings because they've hybridized the whole lineage. That's my idea about it. So where are you located?
I'm in Santa Monica, California.
Oh, great. So you walk on the beach in Santa Monica and see it and connect to alien. Well,
yeah.
That's great. Yep. Thanks for sharing. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Great. You see, it's everywhere, right?
That was beautiful, Nancy, so much. That was beautiful, Alan. You're just, Alan is just such an angel. I was thinking that Jay McDaniel, who's someone that I just adore. And I know he's had experiences. Jay, do you feel like talking a little bit right now
Yeah.
before we do a couple scans?
41 years ago, and I related this to you 4 years ago, I believe. We had a lot of experiences, and they weren't all positive. But one of the divisions I had coming through all that was that the people, the aliens, were interdimensional. In other words, they could go and come out of this dimension. We can
Yeah.
see them, but then they can just go away. And I think that a lot of that, the airplanes chasing them and everything, they're going interdimensional. That was one thing that came to me. Another was that I was back at the home place, which we moved back to in '85, and I saw this ship on this pedestal, the long, tall pedestal, a ship, just about identical to what you have on the front of your book, Alan, and it was landing on this lander. And I was thinking, well, those huge trees are about back, so it's not going to happen. I had the last one cut this week, or last week rather, and it shows that maybe that was something in the future. I've also had visions at night of being on the spaceships. It started out negative, but it became positive. And about a year ago, I had visions of what I thought was the aliens in my bedroom going through my veins, so to speak. And I thought, well, maybe they're cleaning me out or something. But in reality, I was having a vision of the future of a heart situation that has developed. And but it's been an interesting experience. It started at a transmitter site at a radio station where I was working at when I was 19 years old. And a lot happened over that period of time. It was awakening to us. It really was. But I think the interesting thing, and the link I'd like for Alan to comment on, is the interdimensional thing. What dimension do they go into? As Kimberly, I wrote the 1 dimension, 2 dimension, 3 dimension, 4 in my thinking at that time. The 4th dimension was where they were vibrating from and back and forth to. I now know the 5th dimension, what you have introduced me to, and experienced that in great detail and beyond. So I just wonder I still wonder what that dimension is they're vibrating from.
Where these particular ones are vibrating from, the ones that interfaced with you, because there's many beings on many dimensions, right? So you want to know which ones the ones that you connected with were coming from?
Were obviously coming through a different dimension.
Right.
And then that was seeing in the future too. The future is now. The future is 41 years later in my lifetime. And I still believe that it's an interdimensional thing with them. They live on a different dimension than us, or at least the ones that I interacted with.
No, I would say those are 8th dimensional because they've conquered time. 8th dimensional space is one that is where all time. I mean, it exists on all dimensions that way, but and it's just a number. 8th dimensional space is what remote viewers say makes that science work, because there is on those levels no time and no space in the way that we think of it. Every moment in time and space is connected to every other moment in time and space. So there's no distance. There's no yes. It's like, it's like a point where every point is the center of that time space matrix. Does that make sense? It's hard to talk about. Yeah, yes, you tuned in.
I tuned into that point, and it went through various years, many years, and it was just a definite time in my life at that young age where they really made their appearance to me in reality. Some of it was very scary. My wife still won't even talk about that era because it affected several people, not only myself, my wife, some good friends that are now no longer with us. But didn't just happen to me alone.
But was it a positive thing? Was it an upgrade, you feel, or was it?
It ended up that way. Now I'm not fearful because the bad ones can't come around, or either in spirit or in reality. It's their reality, should I say? So it's all been positive over the last few years. So I'm not afraid of it.
Well, when you really shift that from fear to like openness, you can call those beings back if you feel comfortable and see what they have to offer you, because you're sort of connected to those beings and you're not separate.
Yeah,
You think you're here, but you're
no,
actually, right? You're
actually, when that was all happening, it was a traumatic period when it began, but it ended up in a much better state. And now I know they're there. There's no question in my mind that they're there. They come and go. You know, sometimes I know they're around, sometimes I don't. But I'm more spiritually attuned to Jesus Christ now, of seeing him multiple times, and the angelic beings. More so than tuning into that area, you know, to the, you know,
right.
alien.
Ask for a message, you know, ask for something you could bring back to the rest of us. Okay.
It's true.
From any of those beings, Jesus or whoever, you know, you're a mystic, and you've been maybe avoiding it, but you're a mystic.
I think I have been in years past, and I think in years past, lives past, should I say, because we've all lived so many different lives, you know.
Right.
But I'm enjoying this, and I've taken up more than my 3 minutes. God bless you both.
No, thank you. Thank you for sharing. Jay, that was great. Excellent.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank
So if it's okay with Alan, I think I'll
Yeah.
read another pretty prayer, and then let's do a couple beautiful scans, healing scans. I think Alan would like me to do that.
I would, because you really shine. There's something else that comes through you when you're doing your scanning, and it's really high energy. So yeah, let's do a prayer and let's do a few scans. And then if anyone else has anything to say it, and then we'll wrap it up and come back again soon. So yes.
We went through a really nice session today about our hybrids and aliens. And
there's a lot more to say, but this was just a taste.
This is our 101 group today, which is nice. So I'm going to say a really pretty, a couple quotes, I think I'll say too. So here's a couple quotes, excerpts from my book. I'm going to say a couple of those and I'll do a quick prayer. Everyone can bring in the highest spirit guides and the highest angels. You can be a spiritual warrior. Turn your scars into triumphs. You can turn emotional wounds into glorious multidimensional progress to heal yourself and the world. Let's take a deep breath on that. Inhale and exhale. Being in the fifth dimension, we live in unconditional love, unconditional forgiveness, unconditional acceptance. We have no fear. We have no hate, no judgment or unkind or self-competition. This dimension is where the world can and will have complete healing. Let's take a deep breath. Inhale and exhale. Once you have witnessed miracles and experienced miracles, you experience the highest dimension, and we can re-enter the dimension and beyond, many dimensions. That doesn't mean we can fall back into the third dimension, but we mean it's easier to bounce back into the third dimension. By truly accepting the Holy Spirit, we are one with God. And this connection and healing is possible because we are multidimensional beings. And God is love. And love is non-judgmental. Satnam.
Thank you, Kimberly. Beautiful. You're absolutely right. And that's actually does get us to the fifth dimension when we realize that judgment is not necessary. It's a real 3D sort of habit judgment. And there is no judgment on those other levels, like better or worse, or this person's awful. And it's like, when we can really live that way, we're actually increasing our vibrational field as well. So yes, let's do some scans while we still have some time, because I know people really like that. And that's where the beings come through. Yeah, go ahead. So
you're right. And the hybrids and the civilizations like to demonstrate how cool they are. and how fast
Anything else about hybrids you want to say in this first class? Anything else you want to, because
they're just telling me that the more we can practice daily meditation, practice, when they pick up my book, they pick up your book. There's so many things that you can learn from those books. Mine's a guidebook. Yours has so much information.
stories, yeah.
Learn. They can get yours now. Mine's pre-order. You'll get it in November. But it's very important right now, the eating right, the meditation every day, these things, the classes, what we're doing right now is really good. And witnessing, like we're going to do right now, how fast our brains are raising the consciousness and opening the intuitive pineal gland. The chakras are so important to work on. And knowing that as we move into the higher frequency, that we all have the ability to gain this consciousness and this awareness. So I'm going to leave it right there. And let's do some of these mediumship readings. Okay, I'm opening the room up.
Good.
Okay, so let's see who they want to pick. We're only going to do 2 for right now because that's what we have. So I'm going through the room. So I know a lot of times people say, well, hybrids wave their hand, and that's how they do this waving thing. So, I'm not gay, but maybe I am. So anyway, I'm just making a joke, but this is sort of a thing that they do. And so I like to wave my hand. My hands can, Alan's like, I'm cutting that part out. So anyway.
Oh, it's okay. You can say whatever you want. I don't cut anything out. Go ahead.
But no, I wave my hand. My hand connects to my eyes, but with the waving part. But okay, I'm going, soon I'll be a part of the SNL team. I like to joke a lot, so half joke. Okay, so they're going in. Nancy's going, oh God. Okay, so I'm going in and I'm seeing a lot of information. They're already telling me Laura's getting better, which is great. Yay. I heard, Laura, you were getting better, that I had helped dissolve some kidney stones. Yay. So we had some really good news about Laura. She was in here and we had helped dissolve some kidney stones, which was great. I am getting some really good energy blinking on Jay. Jay, I think, is getting better. Is that true, Jay? You could just put thumbs up or thumbs down that you got.
I think so. I think I'm on a pretty strong chlorophyll. I had 600 milligrams a day. The new cardiologist is the best in the country.
Great. I'm really happy because for a while there it wasn't so great. So I'm happy to hear you're getting better.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm really, really glad because we were really praying for you. So I'm going to go to a person that the guides are telling me really needs me right now. I'm getting a hit on, and really be open. It's really important to be open. Really be open. There's a lot of, if you want a reading, you have to turn your camera on. I'm sorry. I'm not going to pick you if your camera's off. So Claudia, Pauline, Annette, Lisa, your camera's off. I have never done a reading on Dina. Dina, you're driving. I don't know if that's okay or safe.
Well, I'm not driving. I'm actually the passenger.
Oh, cool. So
yeah, he's driving. He's driving.
Okay.
It's Kimberly.
Hi. So Dina, if you want one, I could do you. I'm not getting that's anything super serious, but they kind of just like you and want to do a reading on you.
That is so nice. It must be the upgrade button. I pushed it.
You pushed it and they love you. You pushed it and they love you. Okay, so just remember Dina. They're saying Dina. They're also saying something on Bridget. They're also saying something on Carol. Even though we don't have a lot of time to do everybody. Jill, they love Jill. Hi, Jill. They love everybody. They're also giving me a negative link on Kim. Kim, have you ever had a reading from me? You
One.
have. What?
Yes, yes.
Okay. They want to do lots of readings, but we can't do everybody today. It's just not enough time.
Well,
They're
they
also,
could do sessions with you if we don't have enough time, right? Private.
yeah, but yeah. And then Pauline, have you ever had a reading with me?
You just said that about my eye the one time.
Okay, but you haven't had a reading with me before.
No.
And then there's a gentleman named KIPD. I don't know your full name. Hi.
Kip.
Kip, have you had a reading with me before?
I have not, but I'm very interested.
That's nice. So, there's a lot of people the guides want to do readings on. Some people that just want to hang out and talk about people that have crossed over. And some people they want to do a medical. You're more medical. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So why don't we give this to Kip, because they're telling me Kip is more medical. Does that make sense for everybody that I called on?
Yeah, go for it.
Yes.
Yeah. So Kip, they're telling me it's medical and they want to do a reading on you. So let's bring Kip up to the front part so I can see Kip totally, if that's okay.
I will you want to spotlight him, Q? Spotlight, yes. Okay, great.
All right. Can I get my daughter? Can I get my daughter real quick?
Yeah,
So
sure.
let's have Kip and me and Alan all together if you want, all three of us together.
You guys do it. I'll just hang out.
Telling me stuff.
Listen, I'm on the deal. Okay, I got her.
So Kip, I don't like to know anything. My guides just go in and tell me what to do with the Holy Spirit and the guides. So I'm going to do a reading on you. I don't know how much you know about me.
I just the other night on Coast to Coast, I heard your name in a little bit and got very interested because of that. And sorry, I get emotional, but yeah.
Thank you. We're being broadcast if you can't keep on YouTube, if that's okay for you.
That's okay.
Okay, just to let you know.
So the Holy Spirit is telling me there's some things on you that they want to do a healing on you on top of the reading. They're telling me, all right, do you want to sit up straight, real straight? Yeah, and take a deep breath. They're telling me something to do around your heart. Does that make sense? They're going right around your heart and the side of your neck, around your thyroid and the lung.
No, not so much my heart. I mean, I had a tracheostomy because I had a brain tumor. I had a tumor
don't tell me too much. I would get there, but they're going around your throat and then it goes. Can you stand up a little bit? Yeah, I would get to your brain in a minute, but they're telling me it's going around your mouth, the throat. I do get your heart, some sort of blood pressure thrown off. Doesn't mean you had a heart attack, but your blood pressure is going off the chart with me. Some sort of thing with your blood pressure. Also, they're giving me some sort of information. The camera's not all the way through your body, but that's okay. It's just stopping right at the chest. But they are blinking nonstop right in the middle of your chest where your pancreas is. I don't know if you had an endoscopy or they put something down your throat. You can say yes or no.
No, I have not had any of that.
Okay. Have you had any chemotherapy or anything?
No.
Okay. You said you have a brain tumor?
Had.
Okay.
Had.
They took surgery. Okay. Do you want me to see your whole body?
I don't know how to do it.
You just tilt the camera back a little bit and I can scan the whole body. Yeah, you just back up. And how long ago did you have your brain tumor taken out?
December.
Okay. December. They are going around your throat nonstop. What was wrong with your throat?
It's 7 o'clock.
Well, I couldn't hear you.
My throat was okay.
What, you had a tracheotomy, you said, for a reason?
The guides are going to go through every single thing. So when I blink and I scan, they want to go after every single thing that you've had done to any kind of surgery.
Yeah. Do you want me to tell you the surgeries I've had?
Well, I'm first going to scan you. So they're going through your left jaw. They're going through your throat. They're going through your heart. You could say, no, I don't have anything wrong with me. But if you have a cholesterol, you have blood pressure issue, you have lung issue, you've had bronchitis, pneumonia, they're going to blink on it. They're now going through your pancreas. They're going over to the liver. They're going to your gut. They're going through your prostate. They're hitting your kidney on me. They're hitting your right knee, actually. You want to turn around in the back, and now I'll go through your brain. Thank you.
Turn around?
Yeah. They're going through the back of your skull, sort of to the top of your head to like the right side. And then they're going into the back of your neck a bit. And then they're going down into the low back a bit too. A little bit on the low back. Maybe at some point you might have hurt your low back.
Yes.
Yeah. Not just blinking like maybe saved your back, like somehow God came in and saved your back.
Yeah.
Could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, motorcycle accident.
Yeah. They're going, God, like saved you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were lucky there. Just going through everything. So what's the outcome of the surgery right now?
It was good. There was a tumor on my pituitary that they removed. And when you were asking about the heart, I take that back. The tumor was causing my human growth hormones to be like 4 times what they should be. And so even though I don't work out, my muscles aren't developed, but the internal organs could grow. And if your heart grows because of this tumor producing growth hormones, you know, they said that people barely make it into their 60s and they have like a widowmaker type heart attack, just instant. And so the tumor was removed successfully, and my growth hormones, you know, have come down to normal levels now. So maybe my heart was a little affected by that.
Yeah, they're telling me, so just a little drop of that in the heart. The guides are going off around the heart. And they want to make sure that your gut area is, so they're telling me, Kimberly, make sure that he is on a good probiotic. Your lower gut area needs good water. We picked on you for that reason, probably. They want to make sure you get on good supplements, good probiotic, good water. I'm not blinking on other areas of the body, so that's positive. And what about the throat, the thyroid, the throat? Alan said something about you did something with your procedure.
Well, I had a tracheostomy because of the procedure, but that was only because I have a CPAP machine at night, and I couldn't use the CPAP machine after the brain surgery because of the pressure that it puts on the brain. So they put it so I could breathe.
I come from a medical background. I worked in many hospitals. I've been through lots of surgeries with people. So any kind of procedure that you have, you're going to become very dehydrated. So you can sit down now if you like. Thank you for letting me do the reading on you. I do feel that whatever your aftercare has been, I feel that whatever you're taking as vitamins and water and supplements right now, I keep getting a negative blink. Maybe the guides are saying you need to maybe move some things around.
What does that mean, move some things around?
Adjust some of the diets and supplements and products you're taking. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no question.
Be more specific.
Yeah.
I can't be more specific. It'd be an hour session right now. It
Hey,
takes.
let me ask you this, Kimberly. I'm raising a little girl on my own, and it's very difficult. And I'm just wondering if there's any message you get about raising her. You know, I just don't want to mess it up.
The Holy Spirit is saying if you love her and you're putting all your heart and soul into it, they're telling me you're not messing it up.
Okay.
Yeah, they keep saying no, no, no. So I guess staying healthy would be the best way, right?
Yeah.
I think you're doing good by staying healthy to be there for her.
Okay. The water in the stomach hit home. Yeah, big time.
What kind of water are you drinking?
I'm always dehydrated constantly. That's the problem. I don't drink enough, and I'm constantly constipated because I don't drink enough water, and it's just a horrible existence.
Yeah. Are you drinking tap water? Or are you drinking spring
Bottled,
water?
just bottled.
Can you drink spring water from now on that's got minerals in it and it's glass? Like Mountain Valley spring water?
I can seek it out. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be great for you. And then it's not expensive. People think it is. And then a great probiotic like Inner Echo probiotic, but it's a gift of God that you are here right now. It is a God's gift that you are here. So right now in the chat, Q could put in the You Got This Inner Echo probiotic from Whole Foods. That company is like a gift from God that they make it so inexpensive. And it's at Whole Foods right now. It's at Walmart right now. It's at Target. They've branched out to help save people's lives. And Mountain Valley Spring Water, their rates are coming down to help people save lives. We're in a climate crisis. We need to stop drinking plastic. My book is out there to help save lives. It's time to throw plastic away. It's time to understand that these tumors are coming from estrogen-based products, and you are going to be here for a long time. The Holy Spirit, God loves you. You're an amazing father. God, Jesus loves you. Praise the Holy Spirit. Thank you for having me do a reading on you.
Thank you. Can you tell me the name of those probiotics again?
Yeah, we're going to put it in the chat right now.
Inner Echo, and don't drink water from plastic is really key.
Okay.
Thank you,
Glass
Alan.
is good. And
Thank
thank you, Kip, for putting
Thank you,
yourself out there.
everybody. Thank you. That was my last reading right
Wait,
now.
Kim,
We're going to say a prayer before we go.
and let's just ask if anyone has anything to say, any comments, any thoughts,
I'm going to put the information at the top of the Inner Echo and probiotic if we didn't get it up there. Let me do that for sure, so everybody has those two special.
Okay, Leanne, something briefly
back at the top, and whatever Alan you want to say.
I just want to see if anyone has anything to say. It's okay if you don't. Oh yeah, Bridget, yes, unmute. Yes.
Before you go, I'm dying to ask, is there going to be an alien reveal and an awakening for the world to see when or how?
Well, disclosure is being coordinated, I think, not by the government, but by the phenomena, the intelligence itself. And we are building up to something, and it's about raising our vibration so we can handle not just the information, but the frequency shift that will happen when these beings actually appear within our reality. We have to become more lucid in these dream states, in these altered states, so we can handle that vibratory shift. So I would say in the next 5 years, we're getting ready, next 10 years, it's going to be present in a way that it's not now. There's still too many people in fear, but as we move through this time and go beyond the fear, we'll be able to meet these beings on an even playing field, because that's what they want. They don't want us to worship them. They want us to upgrade our consciousness so we can handle the bigger reality and actually move into a more joyful time on this planet. We are going through the trenches now. And so this is, as Bashar says, this is the last chance for density. So let's rise above it. Yeah. Leanne, did you want to say something, Leanne?
Yes, I just want to go back to something you said at another event, actually, and say that using our whole brain is something that our species is slowly learning to do, whether it's conscious or not. I feel like very slowly in our linear time, the archonic impressions on humankind are being replaced with some kind of self-realization, and the DNA upgrades, the solar flares, the uplifting of the planet itself, the frequencies are all rising. The vibrations are all rising, whether we're conscious of it or not, again. So try maybe to be less linear in your perception of things and allow your right brain to perceive things that maybe don't make sense to the left side, but make perfect sense to the whole brain.
Thank
just say to have compassion for oneself and don't feel crazy. Just allow yourself to expand and embrace it.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, actually, I'm going to be teaching that in a remote viewing course at Portal to Ascension, 4 weeks in October. Q can put that in. I'm going to talk about how to access the right brain and see into the future, into parallel dimensions, actually in home time space. So that's something coming up. Thanks, Leanne. Okay, Kimberly, are we ready to close?
Well, I wanted to say that the first time, we can close in a second, but I just wanted to say that the first time on that topic that I started to realize that that I got attracted to, well, I had the ETs come to my home, and I was realizing that. And when my dad was doing telepathy with me, and when I became a healer in 2013 after my near-death experiences, when I left my body and came back and had my awakening, when I started to put hands on lumps and tumors, and they were flying off of people's bodies, I knew that not only was the energy of the Holy Spirit, but that it had to be something more than just this dimension. And when you go beyond other dimensional frequencies, you are in a time capsule of beyond this reality. And when you're in a space-time reality, you are being moved in a higher dimensional frequency. There's no doubt in my mind that we are all capable of using much more of our brains. So when I was around 8 years old, I know some of you did listen to me on Coast to Coast, and I was telling people how I moved doors when I was around 9 years old with my brain. We are not using our full capacity of our minds and our brains. And when you talk about ETs and you talk about what they can do, well, some of us can do that too. Are we hybrids? Are a lot of us capable of doing many of these things? Well, day to day at my office, I do these things. I lay hands on people and I dismiss tumors out of their bodies or move intestinal tracts around. I do psychic surgery. Are all psychics hybrids?
Why not?
You said today, ascending masters, Jesus, Einstein. So what I'm saying to you is that what you're saying, Alan, is very, very true. As we move in, even on Jimmy Fallon this week, In the next 10 years, they're saying the climate crisis, the climate change, everything is happening within the next 10 years. And that's why I do believe the more and more we are gentle, we are kind, we are loving, the more accepting, like many of the people in the room here today are agreeing, the more we're able to relax into it, open it up, our minds are able to be more at peace, and our vibrations able to accept, learn about the remote reviewing, go to the classes, and then it happens. It happens when we're at peace, when we are in love, and then it's easy.
Yes, it is happening. We are ascending as a human population, and this kind of discussions and awakenings are initiations for all of us. We are in this bubble together, and it will be a new heaven and a new earth, because climate change is what's going to bring this planet together as one species, and the beings that are coming want our
they want it nice.
They don't want division within our planetary race. We're one race of human beings, you know. Bruce Lipton, I quote him in the epilogue to my book. He says, "We are not humans until we create humanity. Humanity is when we all realize we're part of one greater organism. That's humanity. And when we realize that oneness, we can then meet other ones, which is the next level of evolution. So we need to become whole as a planetary civilization to meet other planetary civilizations, so we can form the next level of this super organism, which is the greater consciousness. So we need to have a synergy of awareness, and that's what's happening."
Yes, beautiful. So
Well,
love to all of you angels here today. Thank you for all coming. It was so beautiful.
Get those books that are coming out. And Kimberly, how can people sign up for your private sessions? Do you want to ask Kelly to come on?
I'm going
Oh,
to try to
that's
hold up. I'm going to try to
Hold up
hold
your book.
I'm going to try to hold up both of our books.
Oh, thanks. Okay. That's cute. But do you want to thank you. Lovely. Great. And they're both published by the same, we're in this together because they're both published by St. Martin's Essentials. So
we're twins. Yeah. And, just if anybody wants to reach me for any of my classes, I'm at thehealingtrilogy.com.
Okay.
And so grateful for everybody. Love all of you. And we're going to have a little preview to the ending right now. Please stay for our ending.
Oh,
Anything
okay.
else you want to say, Alan?
I want to say thank you. It's been very harmonious, great bunch of people here. Thank you all, because we're all in this together. You know, Martin Luther King, he said a lot of great things. He said, we may have all come here on different ships, but we're all in the same boat. So that's where we're at now. So we're in this together as human civilization. So it's pollution, climate, it's not going to be handled by one country doing this or not that. It's like, look at the pandemic. There are no borders anymore. Let's face it. So we are one human civilization, you know, so let's start making contact with each other and the planet and whatever's out there. So that's what we're here for. We're here for an awakening.
Well, it was beautiful. Thank you, everybody. Everybody, you're all beautiful and gorgeous beings. Stay well.
Thanks, Kimberly. Okay, we'll do this again. Blessing. Do we have a final closing act here?
Yes. Thank you for attending the Hybrid Civilizations Extraterrestrials in the Fifth Dimension class. Did you experience anything amazing? Did you have any wonderful moments? We would love to hear. Let us know in the chat how today's class was for you.
Great.
This class was put together by the Healing Trilogy, a nonprofit, non-denominational ministry that accepts all people, that we all can be healed and have peace on this earth. One of the ways that you can support the Healing Trilogy is by joining the Angel Club, which includes monthly healing events, live Zoom classes, and a large video on demand library. You can access it at Kimberly's website at thehealingtrilogy.com. She has upcoming events in October such as Saturday the 2nd, there'll be a monthly Mother Mary Matrix, an online healing webinar featuring special channeling of Mother Mary and the healing energy of the Holy Spirit. Everyone who attends will receive a special blessing. And then on October 7th, there'll be medical intuitive readings with essential oils with special guest Joby Summers. Kimberly will be giving individual readings to support your emotional and mental physical well-being, as well as being paired with correlating essential oil suggestions by Joby Summers. And on Saturday, October 23rd, is the 4 Earth Angels. Join Kimberly Meredith, Cheryl Murphy, Kelly Artcard, and Kat Devine for an unforgettable afternoon of messages from your spirit loved ones. The afternoon will be filled with laughter, tears, and most of all, healing. And you can sign up for those classes and more at Kimberly's website at thehealingtrilogy.com. Kimberly also has a new book that you can pre-order today, Awakening to the Fifth Dimension, Discovering the Soul's Path to Healing. And you can book that at Amazon.com, where you can search her book, or at the link that we put in the chat. You also will want to follow Kimberly Meredith on her social media. We will get her daily and wonderful inspirational messages to help keep your day going and keep everything wonderful for yourself. If you're ready to go deeper, or perhaps take your session privately, she does accept private readings on Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, and you can book appointments at thehealingtrilogy.com. If you're in the Los Angeles area, you can also book in-person appointments on Mondays and Wednesdays. And if you want to get more tools, for example, pendants, her Blessed Ormus cream, her meditation CDs, or her new essential oils, you can find more at her website at thehealingtrilogy.com. And so thank you for your donations. It allows us to continue to create classes like this to heal and help more people around the world. And don't forget Alan Steinfeld's new book that just came out recently, Making Contact. It's very highly rated, and as Deepak Chopra says, it's an amazing book. We cannot separate the Earth from its greater cosmic environment. What is needed is a new story, and Alan Steinfeld's Making Contact is part of that story. He also has a new class, a remote viewing class, starting on October 7th. This is going to be a 4-week intensive where you'll discover the deeper aspects of consciousness and the secrets of the universe. Remote viewing is the ability to use your power of your mind to see and sense non-locally. Our consciousness is not just confined to our bodies, and this program will help you develop your extrasensory awareness. Alan will also be speaking at the Starseed 2-Day Summit online, October 30th and 31st. You can get your tickets online for 2 full days of paradigm-shifting awareness as we connect to our divine nature and explore our intrinsic connection to cosmos, star beings, and other realms. So thank you for attending today's class. Hybrid Civilizations and Extraterrestrials with Kimberly Meredith and Alan Steinfeld.
Beautiful. Thank you, Kimberly. This was really a lot of fun. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And thank you, Kelly, and everybody.
Everybody, you can unmute yourself and say thank you if you like.
Yeah, if anyone wants to say anything.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thank Alan. Thank you so much. It was beautiful.
Thanks,
Great
Kimberly.
class,
It's always
everybody.
fun.
Great class, Alan. See you guys later.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
I'll talk
Bye.
to you, Kimberly. Thanks, Leanne. Thanks, Bridget, everybody.